What's up, guys? My name is Max. I'm the owner of RevScale, an email marketing agency, and today we're going to talk about the Welcome series. Just to give you some context, I've worked with a million different types of brands: snacks, supplements, toys, electronics, furniture, high fashion, streetwear, apparel, you name it. And I see the same thing happen every time, and I just know what works. So we're just going to talk about that. We're talking a little bit about pop-ups. We're talking about a really good welcome flow, and kind of like everything in between. Some simple tips, some complex tips, some simple use cases, complex use cases. I just want to give a good foundation and standard and expectation for how you should think about doing the welcome flow. It's pretty easy to look up on Klaviyo how to set up a welcome flow, okay? But what's hard, I think, is like creating something that's really good, okay? So let's get into it. So why is the welcome flow the most important part of retention strategy? One, it lowers the cost of acquisition, right? I just looked up this really quickly on Klaviyo. But obviously, paid advertising costs have risen, so customer acquisition costs, or CAC, has risen as well. How do you combat this? You can lower or reduce acquisition costs using email, right? And a lot of people say that's not true, Max. Really, my my website and my store and my product did all the heavy lifting. Email is attributing revenue, and it's not the case, bro. Like, really, to be very honest, like, people enter an email and then they receive 10% off on a pop-up, and that's when the email flow welcome series magic starts working, right? So sometimes people buy, sometimes people don't. And what gets your back oftentimes is the welcome flow and the other flows in the campaigns to like drive that messaging home on the back end, right? People take care of the front end with the ads and the LP, but on the back end, you still need to do the work, because not every single person is going to be convinced so easily. So attribution aside, you just want to build a really strong foundation and a strong flow set with good design, good copy backing up a really good product. And so you have the confidence in your brand that you're giving the best effort to indoctrinate and convert from every single angle and every single channel. Okay, so it should be like, really, there's no argument that like your welcome flow is going to help you. And really, if you think about attribution, the welcome flow is one of the highest performers inside of all the flows, right? So it lowers the cost of acquisition and indoctrinates first-time buyers as an introduction to your brand. It primes the buyer for a sale. It introduces all the products, everything that you can't say or won't say or don't want to say, or there isn't enough space on your LP or your website. You can put it all in your welcome flow, okay? And it just, like I said, builds a strong foundation, okay? So that's why we're doing a welcome flow. Before we do the welcome flow, we have to talk about pop-up, right? So a pop-up is just like, it's more of like a CRO, conversion rate optimization thing, than honestly a retention or email strategy. Because if you think about it, it's happening on the website. It's not necessarily happening on email. But let's talk about pop-ups, okay? So the main components of a high converting pop-up are UI UX, or how people are interacting with it, gamification, and offer. Okay, and so let's break it down. It doesn't matter if you use Amped, Klaviyo, UG Monk or OptiMonk, whatever it's called, PostScript, Attentive. They all work. I happen to like Attentive the best. So if you look, I guess here, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so I like using Amped. They just got acquired by MailChimp. So I don't know how that could affect anything. That's to be seen. But they built pop-up software specifically for brands, and they built it for nine-figure brands. And so it just is really sleek. They're doing some like black magic with like the JavaScript or the way it's triggering and counting unique impressions versus overall impressions. I don't know what's going on, but like, I'm using it with all my clients. I'm not just seeing more like a percent on opt-in rates, but I'm seeing more emails and SMS that are growing the list and segments and increasing the conversion value on these opt-in sequences as well. So I highly recommend using Amped. Okay, so gamification, you want to draw people in by asking them a question. It's not enough to give them 10, 15, 20% off. Okay, so to claim your discount, tell us, what are you looking for instant relief from? Burning or stabbing pain, numbness, tingling or pins and needles, long-term nerve recovery. This is part of CRO. We are converting people, okay, just on the landing page of this pop-up, more so than even email itself. Okay, so people, select the question. You can get like the full screen as well. That looks really good. People can, do like, you can do images instead of these benefit icons. You can do social proof. I found benefit icons work the best. I've been working hand in hand with Amped, and they just set this up for me. So boom, 10% off, enter the email, finish signing up, and you're off to the races. If we go back to campaign, I mean, 26% it's just ridiculous, right? Like, it just doesn't even look real, but it is. Okay. Another pop-up I could show you is this pop-up. And again, we're asking questions. You've got $25 off, cooling body. How can our cooling body hill help? X, Y, Z, A, whatever answers. Also, if you think about it, we're going to get to more advanced use cases, but you can now then filter, or you can create different and unique customer journeys based off what people are asking. You can use these attributes as we're building up this zero-party data, or data that you collect yourself on your screen that you own and you don't collect or buy or acquire from any other third party. And we can use this data to then target people and create segmented audiences and send campaigns that are like more targeted, right, and more accurate. So hot sleepers, let's send a hot sleeper, scientific case study breakdown on why this cooling body pillow's mechanism of action really reduces, like heat, whatever, when people are sleeping. So like, people want to hear more about certain messaging, that may help, right? Especially when you have really differentiated hero products. You have a couple SKUs that are very different from each other, that need, conversion in a different way. This really happens as a brand scales to multi-6 figures, multi-7 figures, where the audience and segmentation becomes more broader and more important to target correctly. Okay. So that's like the pop-up. As far as like the welcome series itself, this is an example diagram of a welcome series, and let's break it down. Okay, so I doctrinate very similar across all my brands. Okay, we have a brand and product intro. It's the first email, 10% off, key benefits and selling points. Email number 2, personal story from the owner, or if they don't have a personal story, core brand, like a brand avatar story. Core brand highlights, social proof is the third email. Product highlight, there should be like infographics, like deep dive breakdowns. If you have multiple products too, you want to like highlight all those. Additionally, instead of highlighting, you can keep going and highlighting these different categories if you want. But if you're in big box stores, if you are partnered with a giant celebrity, or you have a giant personal brand, who owns the products, whatever. If you have incredible social proof beyond just reviews, like you were like the deodorant of the year according to Forbes or like GQ or something, right? Best dressed, day, I don't know, day party outfit, whatever. You want to highlight all that, because what you're really doing is you are converting people in a way where you're persuading and convincing them, and you're using all these like types of, it's not just like copy, right? Like you're using reference points too, and consumer psychology. You're taking everything like, hey, these people said it looks good. Hey, these ingredients are backed by USADA and the FDA, and they're certified organic, right? Hey, like, we're better than everyone because we actually care about you. You go brand, mission, motto, UGC, reviews, social proof. If you have video comment, you can do demos in person. Hey, we're in Walmart. Walmart trusts us. You should trust us. You're doing everything you can to get the full picture and spectrum across of everything that has to do with your brand and what makes your brand, and your product, and throwing it up on this welcome series. And this is an actually efficacious way to reduce acquisition costs, because you have this long form drip sequence that's not like a small advertorial or like a couple lines of text or static image or an LP. It's like, we're like dripping these people like just propaganda about your brand over time. Okay, let's go over examples. Optionally, you can do a conditional trigger filter. So if someone has not bought from you, we can filter it out so we can give them an extra discount, right? You want to be careful with these. I don't recommend this sometimes. A lot of time, honestly, you don't really need to do this, but it can be an extra, kick up where you go to a new incentive tier to try and get people to buy from you. Okay. Additionally, with unique discount codes or some type of expiration. Okay. So let's look at it. This is Creatures of Habit. They have an overnight oats brand. And check it out. Own your morning, own your day. Here's the code, right? Here's like a little intro about the brand. Here's some core benefits, right? Beautiful design. Here's some infographics, social proof, more benefit icons. Doing everything possible to convert people. This is an incredible welcome series. I'm super proud of of how this looks. It's performed super well. This is compared with what the client had before, and it's pretty dog, honestly. Okay, the meal on the edge, boom, social proof. Okay, the reason why, more social proof. Okay, more than just protein, right? You're becoming part of our mission, right? To be a healthy individual that just gets at it, right? And it starts a foundation, that like first, meal of the day. Start your day with meal one, meal prep while you sleep. Okay, introducing a different product in this case, right? So we have social proof, brand story, indoctrination, first email. Now we are introducing other products, right? This is their nightcap product, right? And it's just like a product highlight email. Man, these emails look incredible. I'm so stoked on these. Claim your morning. Just a reminder. Okay, so instead of actually hammering them with an incentive tier, we did a reminder. Okay, so that looks really good. Let's check out Miracle Moo, Colostrum. Okay, we actually did a rebrand, and we can do that in Figma pretty easily. So side by side are the rebrand. So the left side, or whatever email looks better is the rebrand. But same thing. I mean, intro to the brand, core benefits, social proof, right? This is more of like, I guess, the brand story, but really diving deep more into ingredients. We have this incredible comparison graphic. We frequently asked questions. We have the mission, just more indoctrination stuff, going over subscribing and save, talking about, values. All kind of the core components of a really high performing welcome series. So there's a lot of fancy design concepts here, but you can do this in the Klaviyo editor, like no problem. Just put up your brand assets, whatever you have, create different sections, add your CTA buttons, add some color backgrounds, add your fonts, and there's no reason why you couldn't click this up in like an hour. Okay, this took my team and I hours to plan and strategize and make it look beautiful, and consumer psychology and reference points and brand deck and brand guidelines, brand assets, icons, fonts, whatever, and like really good high quality design. To be honest, like really, like unconsciously kicks up the brand into a higher tier to the consumer, right? And the website, if it's really beautifully designed, especially for conversion, it's got to be congruent on the email. It's got to be congruent on all channels so people can just recognize and remember your brand. You'll be surprised. Someone gets a pop-up for 10% off, they go to the email, and then it looks nothing like their brand. They're like, who is this? They don't even recognize it. So keep that in mind. So if you work with a team like ours, we can create like amazing looking emails like this, okay? If we go to Klaviyo, I guess we can go over this now. So think about like advanced use cases for the welcome series. You can go absolutely insane with like a million different pop-ups with different, LPs. Say you're selling gummies, you have an estrogen gummy, you have a prostate gummy. Those are women and men, and they cannot consume each other's gummy because it just doesn't make sense based on their biology. So you need different pop-ups, or you need a way to filter these people. If you're making $1 million a month, you're selling to men and women, and you have specific men products and specific women products, it might make sense to have different customer journeys based off the type of products you have, right? In this case, painting to go, giving you an abysmal 5% off to unlock it, know what you're looking for. They do like paint and sip stuff, right? Instructional videos, and then some like painting equipment. If individual painting, date night painting, kids painting, paint party. These are all different categories. They are different SKUs. Thus, they are different customer journeys. Because you're making $300, $400, $500K a month, you don't want to talk about kids painting to some 25-year-old about to go on his first date with his chick and wants to get, some date night painting going and wants to paint some sexy sunset. Okay. These kids are painting like Monsters Inc. or Shrek or something. Okay. So like no one's going to buy Shrek if they're trying to get some girl on a date. So you get what I'm saying here. So, there's a couple different ways you can think about filtering this. Okay. And so these are for brands who are making like a lot of money. Okay. So if you look at this form, I'm a hot sleeper, side sleeper support, want better sleep, pregnancy. Okay. Like I said, you can collect data and you can do a lot of different stuff with this data. Okay. So when you have a pop-up and you can create different customer sequences based off what their answers are, or you can collect this data and you can create segments and you can send them more targeted messaging. You can send them sales, right? We're having a cooling body pillow sale. Hey, calling out hot sleepers, $50 off, limited time, right? So in this case, right, I just went to Klaviyo here. I created a flow and I made the trigger a newsletter because the pop-up links to the newsletter. If you go to email capture, you go continue. This links to Hoggle sign up, but you get what I'm saying. Once they opt into the newsletter, there is a filter, right? And we can do another filter. So let's do, right now, the question is, does the pop-up question equal side sleeper? If yes, they receive an email about side sleeper. And these can be like the same type of email sequences that opt in based off that for side sleeping. If not, another conditional trigger filter. Pop-up question equals better sleep. Okay, yes, let's talk about that. If no, we can do another one. Okay, let's go to properties. Let's go to pop-up. And then let's go to hot sleeper. Okay, save. Okay, we can do the same thing. So yeah, I think this is more of like an advanced use case, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. You could do tier discounting as well, so they're not biting the 10% off. Like I said, do that conditional trigger filter that says, if no purchase over all time ever, no placed order equals yes. Okay, give them an extra discount possibly. You could do, like I said, these different customer journeys. And, you could also do split tests, right? Like on the pop-up itself, you could create, a split test and add a variant. And I mean, let's back up for a second, because do you think we want to optimize this indoctrination sequence? So one part of optimizing is you want to make the most optimized scenario to convert these people. And to make the most optimized scenario, you want to give them the best solution, right? And one way to optimize is doing everything in your power to convert them. And if we have different opt-in sequences based off the actual customer journey, that's optimization right there. If we give them tier discounting, we're optimizing their conversion value journey by giving them a margin discount, right? Another way you could do that to find the better use case is to create an optimization. And that could be a split test. You could split test the pop-up. You could split test the subject lines. You could split test the offer, meaning instead of 10%, do 15 or 20%, 30%, whatever. You could try split testing the copy, but that's not really a high lever. You want to create high leverage actions of optimization. And really what you want to do is you want to create a strong foundation. So you should just work with an email agency like me who knows what works. And I'm just going to execute for you based off what I've seen on best practices across dozens and dozens of brands, right? So yeah, I mean, if we exit here and we go to, let's go to Life Pro. Okay, they did 900K the last month. We did 372K for them. And that welcome flow did 151K. I mean, across every single brand, the welcome flow, time and time again, is going to be the highest performing, flow by far. It's going to be the most important. And people might not think it's the most important, but I'm telling you, it is. It's very important. All the concepts that I talked about on indoctrinating, on priming the buyer, on introducing different products, and you can do everything in your power to split test and optimize. But I think this video inside of 20 minutes or less gives you like a really good breakdown of what good design looks like, what good copy looks like, what a good order of sequence looks like, how to optimize on pop-ups, on timing, on customer journey, and especially what type of optimizations to even do. The best case you can do is create a good foundation, but maybe split test the pop-up itself or some of the components on the welcome, like the offer. If you split as an offer on 10% to 20% off on the pop-up, then you have to create a bunch of emails, keep in mind, on the welcome series. So that's a lot of work. So that's basically the welcome flow, I would say, masterclass. I don't think this video is too long, and I talked like pretty fast and just got all the core components, but I like it. I've done welcome flows, that are 10, 20, 30 emails long across 6 months. You just want to map it to the customer journey is like the last thing I want to say. I want to hammer this point home. Our furniture brand is selling luxury furniture it has an average AOV of $10,000 to $20,000. Okay, that is a once in a lifetime, 3 times in a lifetime purchase, right? Someone's buying a home at the same time. They might not buy from you right away. Okay, and so like, yeah, you have your campaigns, but like if you have a flow that's really long, that's constantly reminding them and specifically indoctrinating them and tossing them, deals every now and then, across 6 months, like that's an example use case where you could have a long customer journey that's very specific, right? You want to time also the discounts and the offers if you're going to do a tier discounting based off the customer conversion cycle. So if someone's buying within 10 days, maybe you want to give them 20% off after 15 or 12 days, right? Instead of 10%, right? You want to up the ante. So really just thinking in a very core way about the customer journey and what's the most natural progression of events, because attribution is so wacky and screwy. We don't actually know how people are going to be converted, if it's the welcome flow, demand, and checkout campaigns, if it's not email at all, just the pop-up. So you want to do everything in your power and what you can control to create the best foundation possible to convert people as efficiently as possible. And to maximize efficiency, you have to cover all your bases, and that's what I just covered in this video. I hope you liked it. Please like this video, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be throwing up a bunch of videos, very simple use cases, complex use cases in between, and talking about a bunch of stuff in ecom, not just Klaviyo, retention, SaaS, software, Shopify, the whole ecosystem, even ads eventually, and brand stuff. So I'm going to throw up a bunch of videos about email and retention until you're all experts at it, and then move on from there. Cool. Thank you.